The wealthy don't just control money, they control reality. Here's how they do it, and how you can take the same power back. Right now, you're living inside someone else's vision, and you don't even know it. The 1% doesn't just have more money than you. They have something far more powerful. They have the strongest vision. And in this reality, the strongest vision wins. See, most people think wealth is about numbers in a bank account. But that's surface-level thinking. The elite understands something deeper. Money is just the byproduct. The real power is in controlling the collective imagination. When Henry Ford envisioned a car in every driveway, he didn't just build cars. He manifested an entire reality where personal transportation became a necessity. Before Ford, people lived perfectly fine without cars. After Ford, not having a car meant being left behind. That's not business strategy. That's reality creation. Here's what the wealthy know that you don't. Every single day, you're unconsciously absorbing someone else's vision of your life. Turn on your phone right now. What do you see? Advertisements telling you what success looks like. Social media showing you what happiness should be. News telling you what to fear. Content telling you what to buy, where to live, how to think. You think you're just scrolling, but you're actually downloading someone else's blueprint for your reality. Steve Jobs didn't just sell computers. He sold you a vision of who you could become with his products. Think Different wasn't about technology. It was about identity. Jobs understood that people don't buy products. They buy better versions of themselves. He made you believe that owning an iPhone made you more creative, more successful, more connected. And now billions of people structure their entire lives around devices. That's not marketing. That's mass manifestation. Look at Elon Musk. He doesn't just build companies. He plants visions in the collective consciousness. Electric cars weren't mainstream until Musk made them cool. Space travel was a government thing, until SpaceX made it entrepreneurial. Neural interfaces were science fiction, until Neuralink made them inevitable. Musk literally manifests futures into existence by getting millions of people to believe in his vision first. But here's where it gets really deep, Luxonians. The entire financial system is built on this principle. Banks don't lend you money. They lend you access to someone else's vision of your financial future. Student loans? That's not education funding. That's a 20-year vision implant that says you need this degree to succeed. Credit cards? That's not convenience. That's a vision that says buy now, figure it out later. Mortgages? That's not home ownership. That's a 30-year vision that says this is what security looks like. Every advertisement you see is someone else manifesting their desired reality through your consciousness. They show you their vision of what your life should look like. And if their vision is stronger than yours, you start living it. The luxury car commercials aren't selling cars. They're selling you a vision of status and success. The fitness ads aren't selling workouts. They're selling you a vision of who you could become. The travel companies aren't selling vacations. They're selling you a vision of freedom and adventure. And here's the kicker. Most people have zero vision for their own lives, so they default to living someone else's. The person with no financial vision ends up living the bank's vision of debt. The person with no career vision ends up living their employer's vision of mediocrity. The person with no relationship vision ends up living society's vision of settling. This is why the rich get richer. Not because they're smarter, not because they work harder, but because they have the clearest vision of what they want. And they protect that vision like their life depends on it. Because it does. Warren Buffett doesn't see stocks. He sees ownership of American productivity 30 years from now. Jeff Bezos didn't see books. He saw everything, everywhere, delivered to everyone. The Rothschilds didn't see banking. They saw controlling the flow of money across nations for centuries. The elite plant their visions so deep into culture that you think their dreams are universal truths. You think a college degree equals success because they needed educated workers. You think a 40-year career equals security because they needed loyal employees. You think retirement at 65 equals freedom because they needed you productive during your prime years. But what if I told you that financial freedom wasn't about saving for 40 years? What if abundance was about shifting your identity right now? What if wealth was about assuming the feeling of already having what you desire? This is where Neville Goddard's law of assumption meets modern wealth creation. The elite don't just plan for success. They assume it's already done. They live from the end. They feel wealthy before they see the money. They act successful before the results show up. Think about it. Every billionaire talks about seeing their success before it happened. They didn't hope for it. They didn't wish for it. They knew it, because they had already experienced it in their imagination. And imagination is the workshop of reality. The 1% knows that whatever you assume to be true about yourself becomes your experience. If you assume you're meant to struggle financially, you'll find evidence everywhere. If you assume abundance is your natural state, you'll create circumstances to match that belief. So here's how you take the power back. First, you become aware of whose vision you're currently living. Look at your bank account. Look at your relationships. Look at your daily routine. Whose dream does this look like? Yours or someone else's? Second, you craft your own vision with obsessive clarity. Not goals, not plans, vision. See yourself already living the life you want. Feel what it feels like to have financial freedom. Experience what it's like to wake up excited about your work. Assume the feeling of being exactly who you want to become. Third, you write that vision down in present tense. Not, I will be wealthy. I am wealthy. Not, I want freedom. I have freedom. Not, I hope to succeed. I am successful. Because in your imagination, which is the only reality that matters, it's already done. Fourth, you live from that vision every single day. You make decisions from the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. You spend like someone who knows money flows easily. You work like someone who owns their time. You think like someone who controls their reality. Fifth, you protect your vision like the elite protect theirs. You stop consuming content that contradicts your desired reality. You stop talking to people who reinforce limitation. You stop participating in conversations about lack and struggle. The wealthy understand that vision is contagious. They surround themselves with people who share their vision of abundance. They consume content that reinforces their vision of success. They create environments that support their vision of expansion. Most people do the opposite. They surround themselves with people who think small. They consume content that reinforces struggle. They create environments that support limitation. Then they wonder why they can't break through. Here's what the elite know about manifestation that spiritual communities get wrong. It's not about positive thinking. It's about assumption. It's not about attracting things to you. It's about becoming someone to whom those things naturally belong. When you assume financial abundance, you don't attract money. You become someone who naturally has money. When you assume success, you don't attract opportunities. You become someone who naturally creates opportunities. When you assume freedom, you don't attract independence. You become someone who naturally lives independently. The 1% doesn't use the law of attraction. They use the law of assumption. They don't try to get what they want. They assume they already are who they want to be, and reality has no choice but to conform. This is why affirmations don't work for most people. They're trying to convince themselves of something they don't believe. The elite skip the convincing part. They just assume it's already true. Because in consciousness, which is the only reality, it is true. So right now, whose vision are you living? The bank's vision of debt and dependence? The media's vision of fear and scarcity? Your employer's vision of trading time for money? Or are you living your own vision of abundance and freedom? Because here's the hard truth, Luxonians. Every moment you're not consciously creating your reality, someone else is creating it for you. Every moment you're not assuming your desired state, you're assuming someone else's desired state for you. The choice is always yours. You can continue living in the reality that the elite have manifested for the masses. Or, you can step into your power and manifest the reality you actually want. But you have to choose today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because vision without decision is just daydreaming. And the elite are counting on you to keep daydreaming while they keep creating. The secret isn't that the 1% are special. The secret is that they decided to be special. They assumed they were meant for more. They lived from the end of their story, while everyone else was stuck in the middle. You have the same power. You have the same imagination. You have the same ability to assume any state you desire. The only difference is whether you use it or let someone else use it for you. So what's it going to be? Will you continue manifesting someone else's vision of your limitations? Or will you start manifesting your own vision of unlimited abundance? The choice is yours, Luxonians. But the elite are hoping you won't make it. Because when you wake up to your true power, their control over reality weakens. When you start living from your own vision instead of theirs, you stop being their customer and start being their competition. This is why they keep you distracted with entertainment. This is why they keep you focused on problems instead of possibilities. This is why they keep you believing that wealth is limited and success is reserved for the chosen few. But you're about to become one of the chosen few. Not because you were picked, but because you picked yourself. Not because you were given permission, but because you gave yourself permission. The moment you decide to live from your vision instead of theirs, everything changes. Your bank account changes. Your relationships change. Your opportunities change. Your entire reality reorganizes itself around your new assumption. And the beautiful thing about assumption is that it works whether you understand it or not. Just like gravity works whether you believe in it or not. The universe doesn't care about your doubts. It only cares about your dominant assumption about yourself. So start assuming greatness. Start assuming abundance. Start assuming that financial freedom is not only possible for you, but inevitable for you. Start assuming that you were born to create wealth, not just earn wages. The elite have been using your imagination against you long enough. It's time to use it for you. Welcome to Luxona, where millionaires are made.